This shop's one of a kind. We never know what might turn up. Some days, it could be a grand old classic. Other days, maybe a muscle car, even a military vehicle. Some jobs are quick fixes. Others are full-blown restorations. And on occasion, million-dollar recreations. My only rule, perfection. And that's the kind of thing that we do at the Guild Garage. My investment partner, Larry, and I have been working on this Delahaye for 4 years now. Beautiful car, and it's almost finished. The only thing holding me up from being able to put the car together is I don't have all the chrome. Once I have all the chrome, I just got a few weeks' worth of work left. Clev?
Yes.
Chrome.
Oh.
Chrome for the Delahaye.
Finally.
Yeah. I know, it's hard to believe, isn't it? I'm actually nervous about unwrapping this because, I mean, what have we been through? 3 now different ones that have managed to mess it up in 3 different fashions. Yep. So hopefully this time, oh, that doesn't look too bad. You know what, unpack the rest and then let's do a little bit of fitting.
Yep.
Here, you do the honors.
Easily don't go.
Oh, come on, really?
Yeah, this part I'm touching.
Yeah, they're not gonna go through.
Yep. Don't like.
So there's too much material on these. Now there's too much material on that. Look at how far out that is.
Yeah, because this corner don't let it go.
Will this one go in at all? No, that's too big. Yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, this is the one that really counts because that has got to run in and out. Well, if you grind it, it's going to start chipping around there.
Yeah.
Well, here we go again. The chrome for the Delahaye still not ready after years. You know, this year it was pretty important to have it finished because it's a featured mark at Pebble Beach. And we're not making it. So you know what, this isn't gonna cut it. Pack it up, send it back.
Okay. Here we go again.
This is a 1951 Ford F1. It's in for running problems on the real hot days. Just taking this thing for a drive, it's got a hesitation or vapor lock in the fuel system. Just give her some almost full throttle to see if it'll break down or stumble or... Pulls good, no stumbling. I mean, this is where this truck is meant to be. In the country, in the farms. It's been running good. Gotta love it.
Ford created the F-Series trucks right after the Second World War. You know, they were expected to be hard-working vehicles. Because of that, they were given suspension systems for the cabs, strengthened frames, bigger, more potent motors that had better fuel economy. And as such, they were really precursors to the F100 series trucks that we still know today.
I say the day that he's complaining about was one of those days, the hottest days where ambient temperature outside being 100 plus. These vehicles do not like that. It seems to boil the fuel, which it just gets so hot. And that's where they start breaking down and falling on and stumbling on their face sort of thing. So, like anybody. I'm not sure why it's running rough, but I'm going to take it back to the shop and try to isolate this problem. This truck's particular in the way of it's got 2 separate coolant chambers, one for the left head and one for the right head. And they each have their own individual thermostat, their own feed and return line to the radiator. Separate water pumps too. You gotta kind of figure out what's creating the problem. So many different elements that can create these kind of overheating problems. I just want to do a few temperature readings on the heads here. Okay, my coolant system's good. All 3 measurements on both sides are pretty much spot on. You know, a couple of degrees I'm not worried about. If I'm seeing, you know, 60, 70, 80, 90 degrees difference in that side of the head, then you know there's something going on. Working on any car is a process of elimination. I know it's not the coolant system, so I'll just keep plugging away until I find the problem.
I have to admit, I really like the Quail. And the nice thing is, well, when you go to the Quail, not a single one of those cars is appeared at any other show.
That's very, very true.
We're on our way to Monterey to take in several car shows. You know, the sad fact is we were supposed to be going to Pebble Beach at Monterey with the Delahaye. Well, we're going, the Delahaye's not. The Quail is a very exclusive event, and it's almost impossible to get into. But once you get in, you see some of the most amazing collections of cars from around the world. There you go. Look at this. French-inspired modern car. And I know the guy who did this. I know Rick
Look
Doré.
at the design on this. It looks so French.
Rick Doré is a great California customizer, and he's one of my favorites simply because he takes all of his inspiration from the beautiful French coachwork of the 1930s.
And that's modern.
It's a modern car. Yeah.
Wow,
So it's,
I
I mean,
love
it's a
it.
completely usable car.
Look
Completely
at that.
hand-built, and they generally makes them out of aluminum.
Really, no kidding. This
Yep.
is gorgeous.
Isn't that beautiful? Beautiful, simple interior, single-gauge cluster.
Wow, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Just elegant,
Pretty
isn't it? And look at the paint. The paint is just stunning, isn't it?
Wow.
This one.
This would be the exhaust system.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, but it's modern design and everything. That would be perfect in my collection of automobiles.
Do you want it?
Yeah, I'd like to buy this.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Let's come back. I'd like to come back.
You want to talk to Rick about it?
Yeah, I really would.
And I'm sure it's cheap, too. I mean, he's not going to want much money for that. Rick.
David,
Hey,
how's it going?
not bad. How you doing?
Doing good. Larry, how are you?
Good to see you.
Larry's seen a car that he really loves. Now we got to see if Rick is willing to sell it.
Listen, will you tell him? He's whining. He wants,
I
he wants something
really
out of you.
would like to buy this car.
You're going to be disappointed. It's not for sale.
But is this the one and only of this?
One of one. It's called the Aquarius. It's completely coach built, front to back.
How long did it take you to build this?
It was a couple of years.
I'd love to have this car sitting in my garage, Dave.
We could build you one. It runs great,
Handles well.
very well. Corners well.
No such thing as windows, though, right?
It's a roadster.
Yeah, it's a roadster, but with a hardtop.
A lift-off hardtop. That's a removable top.
Show me. You don't need to take it off, but just...
You unlatch it right here. You unlatch it in the trunk.
Yeah.
The guy gets on that side, I get on the other, lift it up, and go right up.
Oh, I gotta tell you, Dave, I love this car.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It had inspiration from the Delahaye, I think.
Of course, the
Yeah.
French masters. All I did was take French styling and add an American attitude to it.
I have a Delahaye, right? But the Delahaye is like...
He has half a Delahaye.
Half a Delahaye.
Okay.
I have half a Delahaye. If I ever see the other half, it would be really quite nice, wouldn't it?
I gotta get your card.
Okay,
All right. You got it, buddy.
take care.
I think it would be great if Rick could build Larry a car. Well, because Larry would be whining at Rick, not me.
Chrome is sent out again to be redone, and when we're waiting it, we start working on other parts. Example, steering wheel must be done. I'm looking scratches on this Delahaye acrylic steering wheel. It's in pretty good shape, but it has scratches. I have to sand and polish by hand. I hope we can get little layer off. Maybe these micro scratches go away. I have to start with coarse sandpaper, then I go lower, do everything, the next sandpaper till 2000, at least 2000. Then I have to polish it. It's worth, I think, because it's like a showpiece on this car. Very different.
After I've checked the coolant system now, I find everything in there is fine. Temperatures on both cylinder heads are pretty much even, which tells me that both pumps are working, both thermostats are opening. So I'm gonna start looking towards the base plate on this carburetor. The black part here is the base of the carburetor, and the silver part's the intake manifold. And between the two, they call that a base gasket. And that's the one there that is so thin that I'm gonna get a thicker, or make a thicker one actually. So it'll try to get the carburetor away from the intake manifold a bit more, just so it'll dissipate the heat better. Because right now, when they're so close, the heat comes from the intake right up into the carburetor, and the float bowl's right there. So it ends up boiling the fuel in the float bowl, and that's where I think he's having his problem of this vehicle having all sorts of hesitation problems and stuff like that. I'll just pull this carburetor off to get to the old gasket, and then I'll use that as a template for the new gasket. One base gasket, and it's just so thin that to dissipate heat from the intake to the carburetor. This does very, very little, but the one I'm going to use is just maybe twice as thick as this. And that should be ample for this vehicle. Okay, I'm just going to trace out the old gasket onto this new gasket paper. I'll cut this out. It's a high heat gasket paper. This is the stuff that really should be used on a base gasket on a carburetor. This way, I don't have to wait 3 weeks for a gasket. And there we go. Beautiful gasket with the old in with the new. The 1951 F1 came in for a hesitation problem on the real hot days. So I figured out that the base plate gasket is too small, so I made a new one. Okay, base plate's all in, carburetor's back on. I'm just gonna start her up and we'll go from there. Make sure we got no leaks. Tout fini. Runs beautiful.
Now I'm done with sanding and time to polish it. Polishing cream on a rag and start going. Start looking better. Some scratches are very deep and no sense of chasing them. Who knows how deep they go, and then you have left steering wheel like this. There's no sense. Yeah, it goes well here. All we need is chrome. It otherwise looks good and we can finish it up, but waiting chrome again.
Larry and I got a little bit of spare time today, and we're going to take in a show we've never been to before. It's called the Concours de Lemons, or Lemons. We're hoping that maybe we find a diamond in the rough. You never know.
Look at this one.
Oh, I love this. Oh, look at this.
This isn't something that
Now
should be here.
this is a car. What's it doing here? What is it, in fact?
Beautiful.
I'm not even sure what it is. Wow.
It's got a Hall-Scott motor in it.
Look at that.
Look at the size of that engine.
Look at the size of it. Holy smoke.
I mean, this is just
Wow, wow, wow.
865 cubic inch, 860 foot-pounds of torque.
Rancho, look at that. Isn't that amazing?
Look at the bottom line.
For sale.
The reason I partner with Dave is he can always spot a gem in a pile of crap.
Wow, pretty neat. I like all that old stuff. That's
I'm
pretty
Larry.
interesting.
Nice to meet you.
Hi.
I really like this. It says for sale.
It is for sale.
And how much would you want for it?
Well, I'm pretty stuck on no less than 65.
$6,500. I think we should buy it.
Yeah.
For that, just a minute, I've got that written out.
Yeah.
Well, boy, I tell you, it looks like it's really moving along the highway pretty good.
It's really more civil than you'd ever realize. The guys that ride in it, they come back with bugs in their teeth. You know?
Yeah. Where did the motor come from? Like, what'd you get it out of?
Well, the motor came out of a truck, a fire truck in 1928.
Normally, people don't take the engines out of heavy equipment and put them in racing cars. Is there any way I could get you
Hear
to
it
give her
sound?
a
Oh,
fire
hey,
up?
yeah,
I'd like to hear
that's-
it.
We'd love to hear it.
Oh, it's fun. It starts good.
This is, isn't that neat? Yeah.
Wow, that sounds good.
This Hall-Scott motor is 864 cubic inches. A Chevy 350, well, that's 350 cubic inches. You know, it's almost three 350 Chev motors in this one engine.
So wonder what this all comes, like, where's the body from?
This is a 1918 Studebaker cowl. 1947 Hudson hood.
Okay.
I cut in half and I stretched it and sectioned it. I hand built the dash.
This car has huge overall cool factor, but you know, one of the neatest things is the boat tail on it's the hood of another car.
Well, you know, this is where it's hard for me to put a price on it. So I'm just knocked it down to what bare minimum I can live with, and
All right,
that's
and then
that's
we'll
it.
knock you down to a bare minimum we can live with. I would rather have this than a Ferrari.
Well, how much are new Ferraris now?
$40,000. $42,000. The great thing about this car is we could actually have a lot of fun taking it out and doing some races with it before we sell it. I can see you driving the great race with this. You'd be gone for months. I'd love that.
Aren't you going to come with me?
No, I'll drive the fuel truck that runs behind you.
I gotta tell you, Paul, I do like it. I want to go back. I want to sit and talk to him about it, but I really do. I think this is
Yeah,
has
I
got
think
a
we
lot
should
of.
talk about this one.
This is the coolest.
Well, it's a classy rig, you know.
It's a classy rig. I agree. This Zeus is something that I really, really like, and I would like to have this car. I was thinking about 52, which means you go up to 55.
Yeah, we got to think of the purchase price, moving it, duties.
Well, you're getting pretty darn high, higher than I think it's really worth. Wow, it's probably worth maybe
Probably
100
around
grand.
100.
It's 100 grand US.
US. And then if it needs any work, that's even more.
We're going to be at probably about 90 or something by the time I bring it up there.
Pretty short order, we can end up with more in it than we can get out of it.
I've got his phone number, but I'm pretty well convinced, but that doesn't mean I've also been known to change my mind many times.
When was that? When?
Yeah. I'd much rather buy an original automobile and know that someone else will want to buy that in future.
I'm so disappointed in you.
No, you're not.
You're getting sensible. I mean,
I know,
what's
I know.
wrong with you?
I know. It's because I'm getting hungry, I think.
Yeah, that could be.
Okay, let's go.
Alrighty. It's an exciting year to be at Pebble Beach, and the main reason I'm excited this year is because Delahaye is a featured class, one of my favorite cars. The downside to this entire thing is, well, our car is not here.
Let's go see the Delahaye's.
All right, let's do that. Delahaye was one of the great French cars before the Second World War. Their coach work and their provenance in racing, and that was exemplary. After the war, they stumbled on for a few years, making basically pre-war cars post-war, and as such, they foundered. But even post-war, the cars were still excruciatingly beautiful to look at, even though they had a pre-war chassis and engine. We're meeting up with Ed Fallon. He's one of my favorite guys in the car industry. I've known Ed for a long, long time, and he is just one of the world's leading experts on French cars.
Hey, good to see you again, my friend. Good.
So you had much of a chance to look over the Delahaye class?
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous stuff. What about that Frenet that you guys are working on?
Thanks a lot, Ed.
That's kind of a tender subject, isn't it? Like, how
what
long
all
has
the
it been now? How long have I been waiting for the chrome?
We brought it here, we just didn't bother putting the chrome on it, you know?
You can ask me next year, in a year,
Well, you know
We'll
what?
just
They
keep
might
going.
have a Delahaye class here again at Pebble in like 10 years, so.
We might be ready. When I say might.
We might have the chrome back by then.
Perfect.
You know, seeing all these Delahayes here, well, it's a little bittersweet. I mean, our car's supposed to be here. But on the other hand, it is just great seeing this many cars in one place.
That's a nice car.
Yeah, that green car is dramatic.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
That's
more similar to ours.
This is
as
the
far as
same
coach
year
work is concerned.
as what we have.
Yeah.
This is the 1948, it's a 135 MS.
Yeah.
This is gorgeous.
No, it is.
Let's face it, we didn't make it here. So maybe that's better that we're coming in on our own as one individual car versus a massive amount of Delahayes. Will just be, when we finally put our car, it will just be ours.
Spending the day with you guys.
Hey, a lot of fun, eh?
Well, no,
Always
with me.
had
Thank
a
you.
lot of fun.
All right, take care.
And we'll be in touch.
All right, thanks, Dave.
Get some
See you,
deals
bud.
done, eh?
All right, I will.
Car's all done, looking good. Time to take it for another test drive. Right now I fixed the base gasket on the carburetor. Just take her out for a lap here. Get her up to temperature, get her up to speed, and we'll just make sure she's not gonna do a vapor lock in this fuel system again. Flathead V8, you don't see that too often in the pickup. So usually straight sixes, 325, stuff like that, but a little smaller. This is a daily driver, this baby, man. This thing, it rolls nice. 40, 50, 60. Man, she's good. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. This truck's, as far as I'm concerned, in good shape. I think the customers will be really happy. A lot of fun to drive for the rest of the summer. base plate turned out to be a good thing. It definitely kept the heat down out of the carb, and it ran like a champ.
This is nice, isn't it?
Yep.
The edge is good. The bottom is good. Is that roll's correct, eh?
Yep.
Okay. Just got back from Pebble, and I find the chrome has finally arrived back here. I hope this time it fits the car. Well, I'm pleased with this, so far. I've been pleased before, but I hope I'm pleased this time. Well, let's put her on.
Okay, sure. Let's do it.
Yep.
What do you think?
Oh, that's better. Look at that. I mean, there's no gap. I mean, you can't get your fingernail between the chrome and the bodywork. So that's the way it should be. Yeah, I think the fit with this right now is better than it was originally. Am I happy? We'll see. If the car goes together and we can get it to Pebble next year, I'll be happy. So, I guess Larry's gonna be happy finally. Well, maybe. Alrighty, good. We'll just finish putting the rest on.
Okay.
Okay, great.